Greetings. Within the obligation rightfully bestowed upon me, says soul chasm of academe, I now concede you to acquire the entrance towards the self's reading of a poem. Consequently, a frontier which separates the corpulent line of incisive reality, the world of literature, and heated criticisms of past conceptions. Welcome to the ineluctable somber paradise of 1879. To the Filipino youth, originally written in Spanish by Rizal, translation by Charles E. Derbyshire. Hold high the brow serene, O youth, where now you stand. Let the bright sheen of your grace be seen, fair hope of my fatherland. Come now, thou genius grand, and bring down inspiration with thy mighty hand, swifter than the wind's violation. Raise the eager mind to higher station. Come down with pleasing love of art and science to fight, O youth, in there untie the chains that heavy lie, your spirit free to blind. See how, in flaming zone, amid the shadows the Spaniard, a holy hand, a crown's resplendent band, profits his Indian land. Thou, who now wouldst rise on wings of rich emprise, seeking from Olympian skies songs of sweetest strain, softer than ambrosial rain. Thou, whose voice divine rivals Philmel's refrain, and varied line through the night benign feeds mortality. Thou, who by sharp strife wakest thy mind to life, and the memory bright of thy genius light makest immortal in its strength. And thou, in accents clear, Phoebus repellest dear, or by the brush's magic art takest from nature's store the figure on the simple canvas's length. Go forth, and then the sacred fire of thy genius to the laurel aspire, to spread around the fame, and in victory flame through wider spheres the human name. Day, O happy day, fair Filipinas, for thy land to bless the power to take the places in thy way, this favor, this fortune grant. A la juventud filipina was the poem Jose Rizal wrote. He was in the University of Santo Tomas. The year was 1879. Submitted the poem for a poetry contest organized by the Liceo Artístico Literario de Manila, Manila Lyceum of Art and Literature for Filipinos, a society of literary men and artists, where he won the first prize, a feather-shaped silver pen and a diploma. The poem has been translated to Tagalog by several authors. Early in the 20th century, the American translator Charles Derbyshire translated the poem, but the translation contained flaws, as can be seen, for example, the fifth line, where he translates Bella Esperanza de la Patria Mia, as fair hope of my fatherland. Alfredo S. Veloso made a translation of the poem into English. Philippine national artist Nick Joaquin also translated the poem. Some literary terms and characteristics of the works of José de Espronceda, a Spanish romantic poet, and revolutionary, often called the Spanish Lord Byron, can be observed throughout the poem, such as Teresa Frente or Amante Angel, that appeared originally in the Canto dos a Teresa of Espronceda. This poem, one of Rizal's most famous and most difficult to translate, was dedicated to the Filipino youth, wherein the word Filipino was first used to describe the natives of the Philippines, not the Spaniards born in the island. Stanza 1 is all about the pride in being a part of the Filipino youth, the hope and light of the country. How society serves their regards is represented by 5 lines and 25 words, espousing the fact that every person in the world above has their own standpoints and confidences, a calling to all to bring forth their innate brilliance to inspire others. Stanza 2 emphasizes, with its 24 words encapsulated within 5 lines, that the strength of the youth is never limited by an age range or customary expectations. Due to the body being a vessel of novelty, the swiftness is an advantage, a prompt to elevate the capacities of the mind, even from just a young age. In tres, the terminologies found unfamiliar began with resplendent, which has the meaning of shining brilliantly, characterized by a glowing splendor. Alongside it is profers, a verb denoting to present for acceptance. 10 verses and 49 words are complacent enough to portray the vivid importance of knowledge in a generalized sense. The message is upon the privilege of education engraced with the Spanish occupation, with the monarchy of the past, a key in the attainment of freedom, literally and figuratively, it seems. Simply speaking, Rizal praises the benefits that Spain had bestowed upon the Philippines, not at all a focal point of surprise, since it is known that he had frequently depicted the renowned Spanish explorers, generals, and kings in the most patriotic manner. He had pictured education as the breath of life, instilling charming virtue. Taking in enthusiasm, one of his Spanish teachers as having brought the light of the eternal splendor to the country, Filipinas. Seeking a new and reformed lifetime that would embolden the best of values was the feature of the subsequent 10 verses. Likening the subjects of focus to divinity and immortality, it is hoped would pour extensively and intensively, like rain, and produce melodies of change and kindness of fate. It creates a continuous dictate as to how the youth could influence the societal construct of the current passing times. Words unfamiliar within the 4th. A stanza which has 41 words in its hold, or 4 in number. Benign is the word most directly associated with a mild type of character that does not threaten health or life. Those that are of a gentle disposition, gracious in showing kindness and gentleness. Whilst emprise, an adventurous, daring, or chivalric enterprise is the youth itself. ambrosia, the food, ointment, or perfume of the Greek and Roman gods. Something extremely pleasant to taste or smell that is ethereal in nature. The continual, emerging, self-sustaining hope that runs for decades through and through is its equivalent to reality. Mayhap the soul's solace, despite regrets. A Philomel or Philomela is a minor figure in Greek mythology who is frequently invoked as a direct and figurative symbol in literary and artistic works in the Western canon. The first use of Philomel was in 1579, denoting nightingale. Further is the symbolism of the bird, having a long history with associations ranging from creativity, the muse, nature's purity, and in Western spiritual tradition, virtue and goodness. The youth are more as an instance of natural, poetic creation. They, like the nightingale, are voices of nature, searching after the truth, beauty, melody, peace, and tranquility of the universe. The gist of the next is the domain of 23 words in 5 lines. Through differentiating dispositions, experiences of tribulations, it is aspired that the youth make the dreary, corrupted, disheveled life of the current era to something else better, and make memories that would exude luminescence in times of decadence. Stanza 5 is a branch of all the preceding ones, diving once again into Greek mythology. The stanza says, Phoebus, also known as Apollo, one of the Olympian deities in Greek and Roman mythology, is alluded. The name is often used as a poetic term for the sun. Apelles, on the other hand, was a renowned painter of ancient Greece that flourished in 4th century BC. One whose work was held in such high esteem by ancient writers and art that he continues to be regarded, even though none of his work survives. Simplicity of design, beauty of line, and charm of expression were supposedly his chief merits. There is little doubt that he was one of the boldest and most progressive of artists of his time to move suddenly or quickly. Fig, as a verb in the stanza with 5 verses and 30 words, is hinting at how time is as a concept, taking the movement alongside nature to paint youthfulness to canvas, that is, the universe. From the sun god to a painter of great renown, accentuating both is concomitant to the youth as artists of their own cadence. The sun represents life, but it is also known to typify energy, power, positivity, and clarity, relating how the new generation is a natural force that is outside of anybody's control, but illuminates the world nonetheless. Inchete, oftentimes heeded as a symbol of the mind's whim, laurels seized the reins of attention. The youth, by this point, is now issued to go forth to the world and shed life, all the while upholding this certain goal for knowledge, exploration in its domain of academia, specifically for the young generation of Filipinos to claim victory, to be known all across the planet. The stanza was comprised of the customary 5 lines and 30 words, a detail strikingly similar to what's divulged prior. Expressions of gaiety launched the ultimatum of the stanzas. Mayhap an applause to oneself that, finally, the poem has now come to an end. There is also praise for the dearest country, the Philippines, for its mere existence. With its 25 words in total, there is a presumption that the verses are the poetic version of sending prayers and hopes that fate will favor the bold and fortune will ennoble the youth to behold. The mind, unknowingly, always is an attempt to bridge a correlation between the youth and whatever potential connotation or denotation the poem could showcase. Amidst the darkness of times, there is the preposterous and substantial burden placed towards the care of the youth. Why so? How hefty the expectations towards their beings, as this poem was read, was most certainly more than palpable. The message it holds is a strong one, to the point that those who are to be persuaded would most likely be pushed to a domain unprecedented. The strength of the poem counterbalances this con, however. 143 years after its composition, the poem still serves as a great reminder the wars fought, the roots of the past, for the sake of the present, the branches of the future. It is an encouragement that challenges the youth and sets forth the flames of nationalism in every Filipino. A la juventud filipina is Rizal's love letter to the youth, an epistle conveying that it is about time to let voices be heard, to be a nation that is rooted from the sincerities of the heart and the soul, with no pretension, no conceit, and no facade whatsoever. This is it, the end of the voyage, brought upon by an ample of reasons, an absolute myriad per se. This concludes everything this documentation has fought for. The poem, its message, the writer's principles regarding this austere yet coruscant earth. Be that as it may, I now motion my final bow.